one thing about this lockdown, one good thing about this lockdown, is it has given all of us a lot of time to think. And I've been thinking a lot about our movement and where we go from here. How do we move things forward? Because the reality is the state is going to try and stop us having mass demonstrations for at least a year. They may try and stop us indefinitely from having mass demonstrations. That's what's so sinister about this lockdown. People cannot use their freedom of assembly anymore. We can't assemble together. It's been made against the law. But that's for another day. So what do we do? What do we do as a movement? What do we do as a mass movement of people? And when I'm talking about the movement, I'm talking about the movement that I guess started in 2009 with Tommy and the guys, and then has moved on in 2017 after the terrorist attacks. It really started afresh with lots of new people that had not been involved in the movement before, including me and many, many others. And we were standing against the Islamization of the UK. We were standing against Islamic terrorism. We were standing against extremism of all forms. And we were standing for British values and freedom, justice, truth. That's what we were standing for. So where does that movement now go when we haven't got the outlet of doing street demonstrations? Well, to me, we go to two places. We either go onto social media, and of course we all know the social media outlets are being closed down left, right and centre to stop us expressing our opinions. We've now got to self-censor almost when we're on platforms like YouTube and Twitter and certainly Facebook. You can't say anything on Facebook. I've been banned from Facebook since, well, whenever we all got banned. I think it was May last year. So what do we do as a movement? And we've got to have a political outlet. And it's almost like history repeating itself here. It's almost like we've gone full circle. In 2017, when the football lads and the veterans were working together and doing mass demonstrations together, I managed to meet with the leaders of UKIP and For Britain. And back then, UKIP seemed like a better bet. It was an established party. I got on very well with the leader. I got on very well with the leader of For Britain as well. So it wasn't a question of anything to do with personality. It was just UKIP seemed like a better bet for our movement. And for the first time ever, as far as I know, in the history of the UK, a street movement was literally joined together with a political party. Now, I think the reality is that neither the street movement nor the political party were quite ready for what that would mean. And we all know what happened. Eventually it unraveled. I think there was probably a lot of deep state involvement in unraveling. I can't prove that, but I think there probably was. And the project failed for various different reasons. And there was probably blame that could be apportioned to all of us. But that's history, because we've got to look to the future. And the reality is, as of now, in my opinion, we have politically one option. There is only one political party that represents our views in the United Kingdom. And that political party, I mentioned it last night when I did a live feed paying tribute to Bill. That political party is For Britain, led by Anne-Marie Waters. And I think if we look at For Britain, if we look at their policies in depth, go onto their website, look at their policies, look what they believe in, it dovetails almost exactly with most of us in this movement. Obviously, there's some things there that I might not, I'd like to maybe see in the manifesto. There's some things that are missing, and there's some things that maybe need to be tweaked. But on the whole, For Britain represents our movement. Look at what they believe. Look at their policies. They are non-racist. They are very, very much for freedom of speech, freedom of religion. They're very much for individual liberty. They're totally opposed to the Islamization of the United Kingdom. In fact, that would be one of their main policies. And in years to come, people are worried about coronavirus. In years to come, the Islamization of the United Kingdom. And when I talk about the Islamization, I'm not talking about Muslim people. What I'm talking about are these secretive Islamic organizations that are operating right the way throughout the globe. They're operating in every country around the globe. I'm talking about organizations like the Muslim Brotherhood, Jamaat al-Islami, Hizb ut-Tahrir. Many of the Islamic charities, I'm not going to name them because when you name them, you get dragged into court for naming them. But many of the Islamic charities are linked to these Islamist groups. And For Britain are the only political party who are standing against the Islamization of this country by these secretive groups who are putting people in positions of power in the police, in the armed forces, in civil service, in politics. You know, a lot of people, when we started these marches, a lot of people worried about Islamic terrorism. And I said it then, I said, I'm not worried about Islamic terrorism because that can be defeated. You can defeat terrorism. Terrorism can always be defeated. I am worried about the subversion of democracy by radical Islamists that are using a very clever political route. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the Islamization of the UK. Of course, when you import hundreds of thousands of Muslims from countries that have large numbers of radicals and large numbers of terrorists and large numbers of very conservative Muslims, well, you're going to have a problem with Islamization. And that's for another day and for another video. But the point is that the only party that is standing against the Islamization of the UK is For Britain under Anne-Marie Waters. And when you look at Anne-Marie and the principled stands that she has taken, even very recently standing against fascists and Nazis in a very, very brave and courageous way, standing against the government for covering up the grooming scandal, standing against the Scottish government, whose justice minister, who incidentally is a Muslim, is trying to pass a law that will, to all intents and purposes, put Scotland under Sharia law. And again, I'll do a video on that at another time. But this is about For Britain. And this is about why, as a movement, if we want to have a political voice, we must get behind For Britain. I'm not saying join the party. I'm not joining the party yet. I'm saying let's support the party. I'm saying if there was a general election tomorrow and I could vote for Britain, I would vote for Britain. There may come a time where I say everybody just join For Britain straight away. But at the minute, I think we've got to support them. And if people did join For Britain, if tens of thousands of people joined For Britain, it would completely transform the British political landscape. And as well as joining For Britain, what I would also encourage everybody to do is have a look at Hearts of Oak and join the Hearts of Oak mailing list. Because Hearts of Oak is not a political party. It is an umbrella organisation representing all the major players in the true patriotic movement, in the counter-jihad movement, in the freedom of speech movement. It's an umbrella group, and it's got all of them. Everybody that you would want to be represented in that in our movement is in that group. Not only that, there's lots of small micro organisations who've been campaigning and working on the streets and lobbying Parliament. They're coming under the umbrella of Hearts of Oak. They've got some fantastic people within that organisation. What I would like to see happen, and this is why I'm saying I'm not joining For Britain just yet, because I think a rush to join UKIP and encourage lots of other people to rush to join UKIP, so I'm not going to rush anything. But we do need to act quickly. Hearts of Oak, this is my opinion, and I'm saying this as a member of Hearts of Oak. I'm not a leader in Hearts of Oak, I'm just a rank and file member. But I'm saying this from a Hearts of Oak point of view and a Anne-Marie Waters For Britain point of view. You guys need to get together. You need to get together and you need to talk, because you can work together and you can help each other. And you don't have to agree on everything. You don't have to be joined at the hip, but you can certainly work together. So let's get behind For Britain. Let's support For Britain, because For Britain is a radical party that has the potential to completely change the political landscape in the UK, way above and beyond what UKIP did with getting the Brexit vote. Because this issue of the Islamization of the UK is going to get worse and worse and worse. And again, I keep saying I'm not attacking Muslims as individual people. I am attacking the institutions and the ideology that drives those institutions, that want to turn the UK slowly and gradually into an Islamized state. And the terrible thing about this is the UK government is complicit in this. So Hearts of Oak is going to be campaigning on lots and lots of issues, a very, very broad spectrum of issues. And if we want a political party, the only political party in good conscience that I could support at the moment is For Britain, led by Anne-Marie Waters. She is courageous, she is intelligent, she's articulate. In many ways, she's moderate. And she's leading a party that has a commitment to stand up against the Islamization of the UK, to stand up against the rape of Britain, to stand up for freedom of speech, to stand up for freedom of religion, to stand up for freedom of assembly. So, rant over, Hearts of Oak, For Britain, let's get them together, let's get them working together, and let's make this whole thing seamless when we come out of lockdown and we get back into street demonstrations and elections and all that stuff that changes the country. Let's do it together. Let's join together and let's be an unstoppable force in this nation and this country. We need unity, true unity. There's some people you can't have unity with because they're wrong uns. And you can't have unity with people who have a hidden agenda. But I don't believe Anne-Marie and For Britain have a hidden agenda. I don't believe Hearts of Oak have a hidden agenda. And if those groups come together and the veterans and we get the football lads back on board and all those people, I mean, we had 70,000 people in London in October 2017. Where are they all? If all those people were mobilised across the nation, we would be an unstoppable force. We'd be a force to be reckoned with. And those people, I met those people. I didn't meet all 70,000, but I met a lot of them down through these last 2.5 years, and I know that they passionately believe everything I believe. So we can do this, and we've got to do this. We've got to do this because time is short to save our country. There's got to be a sense of urgency on this. And let's say, we think the lockdown's bad now. Wait until we're in a situation where the country is literally on the boil because of the Islamization of the United Kingdom. We've got to stop it peacefully, politically and democratically. And I believe that's what we can do. See you all soon.